I slightly opened the door to room 707, and right away I heard my wife and her friends laughing loudly and making fun of me. But I'm used to it, so I didn't pay much attention. Then suddenly it felt like a shock when I heard Cyan's voice saying, "I want to thank Xiao Chi for giving me the best birthday gift last night. It made everything so special. I'll never forget the time we spent together." And just like that, he kissed her in front of everyone. Oh, so sweet. All the other girls said, while Xiao Chi turned red and looked shy in front of the group. At that very moment, Muhan, Taylor's boyfriend and one of Xiao Chi's close friends, looked straight at me. "Xiao Chi is my wife. We've been together for the last 6 years." He quietly made everyone notice me, and Zia and Cyan quickly moved apart. A bit of guilt showed on her face. I stood there, staring at her in complete shock, my eyes asking her silently, "Why?" I already had a feeling that Zia was getting closer to Cyan. Cyan is Muhan's friend, and he introduced her to Zia about 6 months ago. I had tried everything to win my wife back. I started taking even better care of her. Every time she got angry for no reason, I would ask for her forgiveness like a loyal dog. Her friends always called me a freeloader and made jokes about me, but I never listened or let it bother me. But this time, hearing their full conversation, my last hope of getting her back completely faded. The love I had for her died right then. "Let's not spoil the mood," Muhan said. "This was going to happen one day. You were bound to find out everything. Now that it's all clear, my friend and your wife are in love, so I hope you won't cause any problems in the divorce. Of course, we'll tell Zia to give you at least 1 million so you can live without any worries." But I just kept looking at her. After she calmed down a little, she said, "Please leave Xiao Chi, don't ruin the party. I'll come to you after it's over and we'll talk." I just blinked my eyes, not because I was following her order like an obedient person, but to remember one last time our bond, the happy moments we spent together, and the beautiful, innocent girl who became my wife. The joy of the seasons, the tough times we faced side by side, everything came rushing back like a quick flash of memories. But this was the end of it all. I opened my eyes and started walking toward my wife, but Cyan blocked my path. I punched him so hard that he fell against the side table and blood started flowing from his mouth. Zia and the others rushed to him quickly. Zia shouted, "How dare you hit him?" She ran toward me and slapped me hard across the face. But after that slap, I started smiling, even though tears were rolling down my eyes, not because of the slap, but because of the deep pain inside me. Today, I had lost everything. When I was a child, her father brought me to his home after my parents died in an accident during my early childhood. He was my father's best friend and took me in with him to his house. From that time, I started playing with Zia, and we became very good friends. I was always good at studies and smart in solving logical problems, so I cracked Asia's toughest exam and joined the top university. Even then, I never made any girlfriend because Zia had already proposed to me, and I accepted her love. Her father and mother knew about it, and they were both very happy. Whenever I came back from college, we spent time together. I would tell her all my stories. I even started helping Uncle in his business, and because of my efforts, his company grew so much that now everyone knows about Ryan Castle. When it was time to transfer ownership, her father wanted to give 100% of the company's shares to me, but I insisted that he transfer them to her name. I even refused to take even 1% of the shares. I put my hand in my pocket and pulled out my black premium card, then threw it toward Muhan. "There are 50 million in this card. Enjoy the party and share it among yourselves. I don't need it." I already knew about the plan that Taylor, Muhan, and Cyan had against me, so I went straight to the point. "Let's settle this today. I hope you already have the divorce papers. Just bring them." How could I not understand this setup? If it was so private, why did they share the venue and room number directly with me? They all got shocked. Even Xiao Chi was surprised to hear me ask for the divorce papers. But she was overconfident and bold. She said, "Are you sure? Don't regret it later." I ignored her words and demanded again. This time, Taylor quickly pulled out the divorce papers from her purse. I signed them right there on the spot and handed them over to Zia. She was in complete shock, and I walked out of that place. I started walking slowly towards my flat with both hands in my pockets. I didn't know what I was thinking as I reached home. The flat looked completely empty and dark, even though the lights were on. It felt like something important was missing. I lit a cigarette and stood by the window, watching without really noticing the activities around me. On one side, a couple was walking down the street holding hands like young lovers. On the other side, there was a couple having small fights that only happen when two people are truly in love. I don't know how much time I spent standing there or how many cigarettes I smoked, but I kept watching them with a quiet smile. Zia and I were like that once. We would quarrel and then make up. It always seemed like she cared for me more than I did for her. She was very caring, and because of that guilt, I started giving her more time, planning surprises, and cooking dinner for her. I handled most of the office work from home since the company was well settled, and the smart people I hired could work with little guidance. I never asked my wife why she came home late because I always took care of her. I believed that managing such a big company was already tiring for her, so I never asked questions that might worry her. Although I handled the main projects and deals, in the end, she just had to close the deal by presenting it. Even then, I was the one who made the deals and shared all the potential questions clients might ask afterward. After all this, she still treated me like a freeloader when the company grew so much in just 3 years, but I never minded. I asked her many times to leave her friend's circle because they were all from business families and very clever. I knew about her innocence, so I always told her to stay away from them, but she always said, "Honey, don't worry, this is just because of business I spending time with them. What you think I am naive, I am also clever." I trusted her. But last Christmas, Muhan introduced his friend Cyan to their group. Zia had a habit of telling me about her daily work, what happened, and what people talked about. She shared everything with me. When she told me that Cyan was trying hard to get close to her even after she rejected him many times, I went directly to Muhan's house and warned him not to cross the limit. That day, Zia came home late and started shouting at me, asking why I caused noise outside Taylor's house. We quarreled for almost an hour, but the next day we sorted it out and were normal again, as usual. Yet, I noticed something. She stopped sharing daily stories, first about her friends and gossip within her circle, and later she even stopped telling me about work. For the last 4 months, she started coming home late regularly, not just occasionally. Although I didn't ask her at first, when it became frequent, I asked her, and she replied with an irritating tone, "How freeloader like you knows how much work is in company." I ignored all that until one day, while coming home after buying a precious gift for our anniversary, I saw Cyan and my wife coming out of a restaurant together, just the two of them with no one else around. They got into a car and drove away, and that car didn't even belong to Zia. When she came back home that day, I confronted her about it, but she denied everything and even blamed me for spying on her. "This was just a business meeting. He brought a client," she said. After that, I started noticing changes in her behavior more often. She became secretive about her talks and kept her mobile conversations private. I had seen call notifications and messages from Cyan on her phone many times, but I never brought it up. I kept hoping things would get back on track, so I tried being even more caring, taking her out for dinner, giving her surprise gifts, but nothing worked. All my efforts to fix things went to waste. Finally, I started packing my things. I opened the almirah and took out my clothes, putting them into the luggage. Then I found our wedding album in the cupboard, along with letters I had written to her and the ones I got from her. Her almirah was always full of clothes, so she had asked me to keep these in mine, and I did it happily. But today, I wondered if that was the real reason. Anyway, none of it mattered to me now. I didn't want any reminders of the past. I left those things there and asked my driver to take me to my uncle's house, which is actually her parents' house. Uncle Yun was sitting on a chair and Auntie was busy in the kitchen. They both got happy seeing me, and I also accepted their invitation with a smile. We chatted and laughed a lot, but Uncle Yun could see the sadness behind my laughing face. He stayed calm and didn't ask about it. Once dinner was over, I said goodbye and came out, but unlike other times, Uncle Yun came out with me and offered me a cigarette for the first time. I smiled and accepted it happily, thinking that from now on we might not see each other much. He asked, "Has something happened between you two?" I smiled, looking at the sky, and said, "We got divorced." He was shocked, though he didn't say anything or ask more questions. He knew my nature very well, and he knew about her too. He said, "Is there any chance to reconcile if she asks for forgiveness?" I smiled again, looking at the sky, replied, "Uncle, just tell me, what would you do if you found your partner cheating, and that too when they've crossed the final line?" He was completely shocked. Even without realizing it, he stepped back 2 steps and couldn't make eye contact with me. I said bye and left without waiting for his answer.